Okay, welcome to the general meeting of the Toyota Land Cruiser Club. I'm Bob Fife, TLCC President. On my left is Colin Richards, Vice President, Alan Kidd, Club Secretary, and to my right is Mark Willock, our Club Treasurer. Are there any visitors or new members present tonight? Visitors, yeah, we know you guys are here. You can introduce yourselves a bit later. The attendance book has all that are present at the front. Apologies, Andrew Boyd, John Kenny, Carl and Jan Riviere. Does anybody else want to put up apologies for somebody? Okay, that's it. The minutes from the previous meeting have been posted at the back of the room. I propose that the minutes of the previous meeting held on Monday 10 October be taken as read and confirmed. Do we have a mover, please? And a seconder? Okay, thank you. Announcements by the President. As most would know, our beloved life member and former club president, Elaine Cattell, passed away on the 11th of November 2022. She was farewelled by her family and some club members, I don't have the names, at the funeral held at Bulli, with many others being able to view the funeral via live stream, which I did from Willow Glen. I would have liked to be there, but I just couldn't. So I watched that, and Elaine was a bubbly personality and attended general meetings up until her health deteriorated. We offer our sympathy and best wishes to Charlie, who's her husband of course, and family. She will live on in our memories. On another sad note, Carl Riviere, our former promotions officer and life member, has been undergoing treatment for cancer and is hopeful of feeling a bit better in the near future. I spoke to Jan a day or so ago, and they are not able to attend tonight and offer their apologies. We wish Carl and Jan all the best for a successful outcome. On another bad news, good news issue, John Kenny rang me last week and has stepped down from the position of Education Officer due to ill health with immediate effect. We wish John well, all the best, and for future health and for his activities with the club. On a slightly better good news side, we welcome Gary Cooper to committee as a replacement Education Officer until the annual general meeting in March, when he intends to stand for the position for the year 2023-2024. Gary, as most would know, is somewhat of a live wire in his work for the club, and we are delighted that he was available to step up, and wish him every success for the future. Good on you, Gary. Whilst hoping I do not take any thunder away from later speakers tonight, it seems that the children's Christmas party at Coolandilee was a huge success, despite the worries about the closure of Wombian Caves Road. And our thanks go to Debbie Oliver and Mark Oliver, her family, and all other volunteers. Very well done. Actually, when we get to the social area, I believe that Debbie's going to show us either a video or photos and have a bit of a talk. And also Sue Duffy is going to tell us a bit about what occurred at the adults' Christmas party on Saturday night at Revesby Workers Club. And that was pretty good too. There's quite a few people who were at that, and great night. And congratulations to Table 5 for winning the trivia competition. I'm not at liberty to say who was at that table, but obviously some fairly clever people. Now, Phil Mead another of our life members, has lost a set of prescription sunglasses in a black case at Willow Glen. I think this happened on the working bee weekend, so if anybody has spotted something of that sort, please let us know, and we'll have another good look when we go down for driver training in January, Phil. I do hope they turn up. Okay, that is that on those. Vice President's report, Colin.
Thanks, Bob. Yeah, I'd just like to say I actually attended Coolangatta last weekend, and it was a really excellent weekend down there. I just want to reiterate what Bob said about Debbie and Mark. They did a fantastic job, but can't forget Katie and Max, and also John for being Santa. Fantastic. It was just a really good event. So thanks, guys. While I was down there, I took the opportunity to start doing some measurements and some planning for the memorial, so we could spend our $10,000 grant. I had the opportunity to speak to Jenny Tyne, and she gave me some ideas for some sandstone plinths and things. So yeah, my artistic talent is very limited, so I'm busily trying to tidy up some drawings and some plans, which hopefully at the next GM I'll present to you guys to have a look at, see what you think. And I'm also, now that I've got the story from the plaque down there, I'm actually going to send off and get the quotes for the bronze plaques to get manufactured. So yeah, getting some progress finally. And tonight we've got Donaldson airfielders. We've got Brett and also John from Western Fielders. They're going to be our guest speakers. So please, when they come up and give the presentation, make them welcome. Thanks.
Thank you, Colin. We'll now go for our Treasurer's report from Mark.
Thank you, Bob. Rightio. Merry Christmas, everybody. What have we got? November, we had cash receipts of $35,855. That's made up primarily of membership renewal fees, new members coming in, and a little bit of magazine advertising. In November, we spent $17,600. That was mainly on the publishing the magazine. The social function, the adults' Christmas party, was paid for just as at the end of November. We bought the trophies for tonight. We did some work on the hut at Coolangatta, and bits and bobs. So as at the end of November, we have $423,390 left in the bank. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have a mover for acceptance of the Treasurer's report, please? And a seconder? David Rowley. Thank you. Education report, and I was nearly going to say John Kenny, but it's not, it's Gary Cooper. We'll give you 35 minutes, Gary.
Might take that long, Bob. Okay. Look, just run through a couple of things that's been done in November. We've already mentioned previously the sand driving course. Bob looked after that with a few other driver trainers. The chainsaw course, I mentioned that last time, and we had, it was 12 men and 3 ladies. And Christine Ross, who's here tonight, she's done a great little story which will appear in the magazine around about January, February. A few pictures in that. How did you find the course from a lady's point of view, Christine?
Fantastic. I highly recommend it.
Okay, see, you don't have to be a guy to do the chainsaw course. I know my wife loves chainsawing, so come along if you're a lady. You can all do chainsawing. Anyway, towing course just recently. Robin and Ian just did the towing course. I think everything went well there. They had 10 participants. One got bogged somewhere near the shed. Because I don't know if anyone knows, but around the shed currently it's very wet, sloppy and that, so it got bogged there. So, but the course went well, I think. So basic driver training on the Previous, what was that, the 21st and 22nd? 19th and 20th. We had 21, 22 participants, didn't we, Bob? Pretty good group, good social group. No driving stars, but a good social group. That went well. Now, coming up, so that's the end of sort of November, but coming up we've got Ken Ryan's running this fitness jump-up course on the 2nd and 4th of January. So that's down at Coolandelly. So if you're down there and you haven't booked in yet, why not give it a go? It might help you to burn off some of that Christmas pudding at Coolandelly. Now, he's extended the booking dates to the 18th of December. There's only a few people booked in at present, so give that a thought. Then we move on to basic driver training for January. That's the 21st and 22nd of January. And I think, Bob, that's already full, isn't it? We're doing pretty well with the driver training. We managed to fill up pretty quick, so that's all right. The only trouble down there at present, for those that haven't been there for a while, we've lost a lot of tracks that we normally use simply because of the rain and that. So every time we go down, a few of us have to get out there on the Friday and just see what we can use, because you never know what you can use. So, yeah, the place isn't in as good a condition as it could be. But once Mark gets some trucks down there and some bulldozers for us with Mr. Cosgrove and fixes a few things.
Can you stop it raining?
But that's what we need to do. Anyway, this year I'm only going to run one electrical course. It won't be until the later part of the year. I'm sick and tired of sitting in the shed in the freezing cold in the winter months. It's just too cold, even with the fire going. Bobby Anderson runs the fire for me, but it's just too cold. So I'm going to run one around about October, November next year. So. And I can only do 10 students at a time. I've got a few ideas if I get into this position after the annual general meeting. I want to call on some long-term club members to bring out some of their skills. Now, I've spoken to Alfie. I want Alfie to reintroduce some things like some battery welding, to do wheel bearing packing, and also brake adjustment on caravans and things, because it's dead easy stuff to do. You don't need to pay other guys to do it. Even where's Cole? Cole, he's really good on mechanicals too, so these guys might be coming out of retirement. They don't know it yet, but they are, so anyway. Just a few other things, like do some pre-check on your car and things like that, because I don't trust any of the dealers, I don't trust any of the mechanics. I like to see things repaired and looked after myself, so we might try and introduce something along those lines for members who can be sure that their truck is in the right state when they leave for a trip. That's about it for now. So, like Mark said, Merry Christmas to everyone, have a safe Christmas, and hopefully 23 treats us better. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. That was very comprehensive. Just as a matter of interest, perhaps for Mark, or between you and Mark, I don't think it's rained down there for at least a week. And I had a look at the weather station down there yesterday, and it got up to 28.5 degrees at Willow Glen, and it wasn't that hot in Sydney. So who knows, it might be drying out.
Might be raining today.
I don't think it was. Alan would know that. Was it raining down there today? No. Alan keeps a check on a daily basis. Okay, there won't be a promotions report tonight. Andrew's not here and he didn't have much to present, and this time of the year there's not much going on there. Social Director's report. What we're going to do is get Sue first and then Debbie, because Debbie's got a bit more to do than Sue, so we don't want Sue waiting too long.
Saturday night was the adults' Christmas party at the Revesby Workers Club. We had a great quiz night by the mystery quiz master in his heavy hippie disguise. And I think everybody enjoyed themselves. Revesby Workers Club put on quite a good spread again. And their service was quite good, so probably do the same again next year. Thank you.
Thank you, Sue. Debbie.
Am I the right height? Okay. Well, we had a wonderful weekend enjoying our property and spreading some Christmas cheer amongst the children and their families. The weather was perfect for camping and activities in the property looked really good, thanks to the support of Brian and his working bee crew. Thanks, Brian. By Friday night, many families had arrived and set up camp. Kids were in the playground and some decorating their campsites in the Christmas theme. Saturday, we were in full swing with decorating the shed, Christmas craft, fun games and a visit from the jolly man in red who brought gifts for all the children. The good news is that Santa had a gift for every child that was in attendance, which is always a little bit of a worry. I have a little slideshow, courtesy of photos taken by Noel and a few others that contributed photos as well. So we'll have a look at that in a minute. I just thought I'd like to share a few facts. We had 28 member families represented at the weekend. 13 families had children with them. We also had 4 guest families who attended with children. There were 54 adults and 23 children. 2 families cancelled prior to the weekend and 2 families failed to show. There were 20 wonderful volunteers who helped out in varying capacities. So I just wanted to spend a few minutes acknowledging those volunteers, if I can. Firstly, I want to acknowledge my husband, Mark. Whatever I put my hand up for, I know you'll always be there working hard to make sure everything runs smoothly. I also want to acknowledge Michelle and Dennis Northcott. Michelle was a great support to me in the planning stages and then worked solidly all weekend, helping with preparation and delivering of all activities. Michelle's previous experience with social events was invaluable and she really kept the ball rolling as we prepared the evening meal. Dennis also assisted us greatly with carting stuff to and from Coolandelli for us. John Twine, the jolly man in red. You did an amazing job interacting with the kids and making sure they all said thank you before you handed them out a gift. Jenny Twine, thank you for all your help with activity preparation on Friday and your constant presence in the kitchen on Saturday as the day's activities and evening meal was prepared. Julia and Robin Moggs, thanks so much for taking the lead with the kids' games. I really was in need of a breather by then, and the kids enjoyed the games, particularly that mainstay tug of war, the tug of war challenges. It's always the favourite. Katie and Max, your visual presence was amazing. It was whilst I was going through the photos that I realised just how many Christmas signs you had brought with you, and you decorated the shed with them. Then your Santa chariot, so beautifully decorated as always. Thank you so much. Noel and Sally Rippingale. Noel, you were our official photographer and you have recorded the day's event superbly. Thank you. Sally, thanks for all your guidance in the planning phase and your never-ending words of encouragement. Ron and Helen Davies for picking up some last-minute supplies in Mittagong and helping with dinner. Leslie and Jason, you may have only been in the club for a short while, but you are into everything, boots and all. Thanks for your major enthusiasm and help whenever and wherever you can. Peter Williams, thanks for offering to come when I asked you to keep an eye on all things property. It gave me relief to know that you could help out if we were going to have any hiccups with things like electricity and maintenance. To everybody that helped with the kids' activities, Robin, Julia, Janice, Edna and Leslie. Paul Bowdler and Ian Armstrong, who came along just to enjoy the weekend but were forever keen to help out. To everybody that assisted with dinner preparation, with dinner service, thank you. I also just want to acknowledge this lady, Edna Lewis. Edna came to participate, but she came to me after the event on Sunday and said to me, I've just cleaned the ladies' toilets for you. So I thought that was pretty great that she just initiated that and did it herself. So thank you, everybody. I hope I haven't missed out in in naming anybody else, but there's a small photo presentation now of the...
Some we know are gay.
That was excellent, Debbie, and a good photo. There, a lot of good photos. I noticed Peter Williams' beard's not getting any shorter either. But he just doesn't like to show his good looks. That's why he has the beard, I think. Okay, Land Ministry report. Brian.
Good. Okay. Evening, everyone. I'll just run quickly through the properties first. Down at Coolandilly last month we had a good general maintenance working bee, and I won't go into the details of general maintenance, but a whole lot was done to print the property for the children's Christmas party. The hut renovations continue, and I think they're probably almost done by now, just in the last throes. And this weekend we have another working bee down there, so anyone who wants to come, that is most welcome. One thing we did notice down there last month, some people have taken to digging holes about the place to build dirt ramps so that children can leap over obstacles, I assume, with their mountain bikes. So we had to fill the holes in with all the dirt that was left up against the obstacles, so we'd like that activity to stop immediately. And if you're aware of people involved in that, if you could just have a word in their shell light and say that's not what we want down there. We have enough work to do without filling in more holes. Down at Willow Glen, 2 Saturday goes, we had another working bee down there. A lot of maintenance activities, hazard reduction all around the shed, and some track clearing. For the driver trainers, there was some tracks starting to get overgrown, so we've trimmed those back. There was 3 large trees down in the access track to 5 Fingers. They've now been reduced enough that you can get a Land Cruiser through there, though there's still track work to be done there eventually. And when Mark can get a truck and stuff for now, I'll get him to get a load of large rocks rather than road base that we can fill some of those holes in with. General items across both properties. When I was at the last working bee, Leslie Butler suggested to me a simple solution for what has been the bane of our lives at times, and that's sanitary products in the septic systems, which we haven't been quite able to overcome. So she made a suggestion, so I went home and did some Googling and found that there is actually a product specifically designed for that. So we have this little device, which from this weekend at Coolandilly will appear in the ladies' toilets down there, both up in the amenities blocks and the portaloos. And it's just a little bag that will come out that you can put your product in and take it back to your campsite rubbish disposal. So hopefully that'll resolve that problem, so if people can use those when they need, that would be greatly appreciated, and thank you, Leslie, for the thought. In closing, I'd like to thank all the volunteers throughout the year who have supported me and attended the working bee. It's been fabulous. We've got a lot done over the year. And finally, I just like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and look forward to catching up with you all in 2023. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Membership report. Robin.
That's good. Yes, I am short. Good evening, everybody. We've had 10 new memberships since our last meeting. We now have 908 new memberships in the club. We've got 256 people who have elected to receive the magazine via email. So we're getting more 300 series into the club. Prados and 200 series seem to stand out as well. So Merry Christmas to everybody, and for our new members, we'll continue to receive new members. Thanks.
Thank you, Robin. Four-wheel drive activities report. Ian.
It's always the wrong order, isn't it? I should be before it, then I wouldn't have to keep putting it back up. Okay, so we've had 22 trips advertised for the past year, with at least 4 of those had to be cancelled for weather, floods, park closures, track closures. Hopefully next year we'll have a better run of weather and conditions.
Doesn't sound like it.
No, it doesn't, does it? And last weekend was so sunny and warm, and I thought, oh good, we're on the turn. Of the trips that were listed, there were 15 different trip leaders running them, which works out at less than 2% of our membership. No trips ran in November, but we have a midweek trip to Stockton, and that's sometime this month, I think the 13th. And there's one in the Victorian High Country, but if you want to go too bad, because they started today. We've got a 3-month trip in Queensland, across the Territory and down to the bottom of WA in mid-23. I think it might be still some space, I can't remember now. No, that one was full, that's right, because it filled very quickly. There's a high areas of Victoria, not the high country. They're going to all the volcanoes, which are mostly in the other half of the state. I didn't even know there were volcanoes, so there you go. With the improved weather, I wrote this at the wrong time of day, didn't I? Good time to get out there and plan a few trips. I'd like to thank those who have run trips during the year, and if you can, go ahead. The more we can have, the better.
Thank you, Ian. That is it for the reports. So do we have any general business from the members? And I welcome Elkie.
Good evening, everybody. There's been a Christmas theme for obvious reasons, and I thought it was inappropriate for the last minute stocking fillers. If you haven't bought that special person that special gift, the clothing shop is there for your shopping pleasure. The polar fleece beanies are now in stock. You're thinking, oh well, it's summer, but some people are going to the high country and it's chilly out in the winter, in the desert time, so there's those in stock. I was going to promote these, but I bought 2 in each size and I've sold almost all this evening. So they're proving to be popular. They have vents on both sides and clearly the string to keep them on in the wind. And they're microfiber, so they won't shrink in the wash, and you can chuck them in the wash and chuck them in the back of the truck. That's it from me. Happy Christmas, everybody.
Any other general business from membership? Yes. John?
What am I getting myself into here? Hi everybody. Last meeting I mentioned Slim Biddell's, or if he was still alive, be his 100th anniversary in April next year, and I've been trying to seek some concrete information. Now there's a lady I know well up in Queensland, and she was telling me all about it, or what she thought was happening, but it's proving a little more difficult to get concrete information. I'm still holding my phone waiting on Connie Sue Biddell or her husband Mick Hutton to get back to me, just so we can confirm exactly what is happening, but I haven't so far heard from them. So as soon as we do, I'll try and get it put on the Facebook page, and if we can get something into the magazine, we'll do that as well. But there is certainly, what it sounds like it's going to be, it could well be a digital exhibition of a lot of artwork, and as many of you would be aware, Len Biddell painted and drew, made cartoons up, all sorts of things, and gave them to people. Now, those sort of things have never been seen by the public anywhere. So they're proposing, it seems that they'll have this digital exhibition showing a lot of those. So that'll be, interesting. They won't be things you've ever seen before, or probably you're not likely to see again. But it'll probably, If it's going to be live anywhere, it'll be up in Queensland by the sound of it. The Biddells at the moment live just out of Canowindra, up northern New South Wales. So anyway, as soon as I get the information, it'll be published. And just a second item, for those of you who are more senior members, you would know Merrily and John Clark, or remember them. Merrily at the moment is still in St George Hospital with a broken femur, just above, I think it's her left leg. It's just above the her new knee replacement, so that hasn't helped. It's quite a break actually when you look at it. It's been repaired, but she won't be home for about 6 weeks by the sound of it. She's got to do rehab, and it's going to be about 6 weeks, so she'll be lucky to be if she's actually home for Christmas. So for them, not a happy time. But anyway, these things do happen. It appears to have happened as she got out of the pool at Engadine, had the kids there, her grandkids there, and slipped over. So, you know, at our age, you've got to be very careful. You really do. But anyway, I wish you all a very happy Christmas and a wonderful new year, and we'll see what we can find out and publish about what will happen with Len's 100th anniversary. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, John.
Hello everybody, I'm back. Marie and I were in Western Australia since Easter and had a great trip. I'd like to thank a couple of particular people. I won't go through a whole lot of names, but people gave me a lot of information. Before I went, I had a really good idea of everything I wanted to see, and I appreciate it from those people. For those people who don't know me, my name's Chris Taylor and I edit the Club magazine, and I just wanted to thank all those people that at one stage I had absolutely nothing for the next edition of the magazine, and I emailed a whole stack of people, and that filled up the magazine for the rest of the year. So thank you to all of those people. The second thing I just briefly want to draw to your attention, the committee asked Sue Duffy and myself to represent the club at the TLC National Gathering at Dunsborough in Western Australia. We were there for 5 days. The first day was sort of like a committee type of meeting, a meeting of representatives of all of the organisations. There's a brief report in the magazine that I'd like to draw your attention to. A couple of important things is our club was the only club that seemed to grow in COVID. All the other clubs have pretty well remained the same, being around 100 to 200 members. Our club is the only club that has 2 properties. Victoria has 1 property, and Victoria and New South Wales are the only club that run fully credited driver training courses. So it's a pretty good result for the club. Secondly, there's a whole lot of reports of the short drives that we did down there. If you ever go to the Margaret River, the whole place was logged at some stage, and they put in railways. So they cut these tracks through the sides of the mountains and the forests, and they make really good 4-wheel driving. So I just want to thank the committee for inviting Sue and I to represent you, and I recommend you all read the report to catch up on what we learnt at the conference. So thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Very good. John Twine. Oh, sorry, it's Santa. I'm looking through
Good
the
day,
uniform.
one and all. Look, as you know, the secret's out. I'm Santa John. But look, what was so impressive down there at Coolandelly was what Debbie did. I know we've had accolades for Debbie and Katie and Sally and all that, but the feeling that she was going through and the nervousness she was suffering was quite amazing. And she said to me, John, I'm worried about the helpers. And I said to Debbie, you've got to remember one thing. We're Australian, and that's what we do, we help. And sure enough, all the helpers come out of the woodwork, and it was fantastic. And the accolades must also go to this presentation. I think that's the best I've ever seen in 35 years. So that's going back, but it was really very good. And of course, Katie's got the accolades and also the effort she put in that sign writing. And Max, thank you for putting a rope on the back of the Santa-mobile. That helped me hang on quite a bit, so it's very good. Now, Sue, look, I know you did a fantastic job and it was brilliant, but the food was excellent. There was prawns, there was oysters, there was crab, and there was salmon, and lots of other things. But the thing that worried me, like that bloke up the front there, the custodian of all those questions, I looked at him and I thought, hello, this is a bit weird, like he had this floral sort of outfit on, long daggy hair, and I thought, God, he's a bloody hippie from Nimbin. But mind you, he did an excellent job. So, Sue, where did you get that quizmaster from? Have you seen him around at all lately, or? Okay, it's a combination between the two of you. Were fantastic. So, look, that's it for me. Let's get on with the show, and a Merry Christmas and have a good New Year. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Are there any more members that want to speak? Could you all just please line up down the wall there? Okay, general business from committee. Colin, Alan, Mark, Brian, Gary, Ian, Robin. So no general business from committee. So we'll get to guest speakers. Brett Howe.
Okay, how's that? Working good? Righto, up on the big screen. So we're going to walk and talk and see how this works, and when I get a hand in the air, that means the next slide. And there we go, we're on and running. Stop there. For those that don't know me, my name is Brett. I'm with Donaldson Filters. My two associates in front of me, John and John. We keep it nice and simple in this world. They're both from Western Filters. And how it all fits together is that Donaldson is a manufacturer, but we don't sell. We have a specialist wholesaler and retailer, which is Western Filters, and they do a marvellous job looking after our four-wheel drive interests. How did all this come about? Well, for those that you can remember, more than 3 years ago, I attended here and announced that we would be doing something for Toyota Land Cruisers. Then they threw COVID at us and world wars and all sorts of other issues since then. Proudly, today, we can see the wonderful device in front of us, which has been the result of almost $1 million worth of development, and it's been developed in Australia to produce what we believe will be cutting-edge technology for the 200 Series Land Cruiser. A little bit of an explanation why we need a filter. It's fairly elementary. You need it to keep and preserve your engine, to keep the dirt, dust and nasty things out of it. If you don't, you're going to have a problem. Next slide. Little known fact, for every litre of diesel fuel that goes into your engine, you're going to need about 20,000 litres of air. That's an awful lot of air that you've got to put through a filter. And the whole intention is to keep that air pristine and clean to preserve your engine. That poor old fella, he's been dead for a little while now, that's Frank Donaldson. And the story that Frank pioneered the world's first air filter and of course became the world's first filtration organisation. Frank's sitting on a tractor there, worked for the Bull Tractor Company. And he said to his boss, "Boss, I think that we can keep the engines going longer if we develop a thing called an air cleaner. We clean the air, it's got to last longer." Now on those tractors, of course, they were a petrol engine, not diesel, and there was no air cleaner, there was no nothing. So the average lifespan on an engine was about 5 weeks, plus or minus a day or so. That was as much as they got out of it. So Frank started mucking around. He put horsehair and cut grass into a coffee can, cut some slits in it, put it onto the engine, and all of a sudden the engine started to last 3, 4, 6 months as he got better at it. He went to his boss and said, "Look, boss, look what I've done." And his boss said, "You're an idiot, you're fired." because at that point in time there was no such thing as warranty, and the way that everything worked was to resell another motor. Ironically, the Bull Tractor Company folded. Frank did sell his air cleaners to that company. The Bull Tractor Company got taken over by Toro, and then a little company called John Deere evolved out of all that. And John Deere Tractor Company is still a Donaldson company today. On we go. The last time that I was down here, I mentioned to you a product called PowerCore, and PowerCore was developed a number of years ago to combat the situation of a smaller footprint and better air filtration. Ironically, on that slide there, the Bell helicopter and the off-road buggy both use the same PowerCore housing. Today in motorsport, PowerCore is the most widely used air filtration system in the toughest of conditions across the world. Next one. That's where PowerCore started. Prior to the Gulf War, there was a big round type of air cleaner in that gas turbine powered tank, and it lasted around about 20 miles. So before they went into combat, they'd put a new set of filters in it, and as they were getting blown up and shelled, they'd say, hold it, I've got to stop and change my air cleaners. So that wasn't terribly appropriate, and people could get hurt. Donaldson was involved to see if we could make something better to keep the tanks going. We developed the PowerCore back in the late 1990s and first fitted into that vehicle. The range went from 20 miles to over 200 miles. Not ideal, but a big step forward. Next one. The simplicity and at the same time the technical nature of filtration, on the left-hand side under a microscope, that's what traditional older style air cleaners look like. On the right, we developed a new style called Donaldson Blue, which is a nano-net style fibre. It's very closely woven. The whole idea is to trap smaller particles of dirt. And that's what we're getting better and better at every single day. On the left, the nano-net fibre technology, or Donaldson Ultra Web as we call it, and on the right is the old cellulose. You can see chalk and cheese. This is getting into the nuts and bolts of filters and what makes them work, and ultimately what keeps your engines going. We're best known in the heavy mining and heavy vehicle sector. We're not terribly well known in four-wheel drives, and we're certainly not known in passenger vehicles, smaller everyday cars. But in the big heavy industries, construction machinery, haul trucks and mining, overwhelmingly it's almost all Donaldson. And the Donaldson Blue brand has been around now for about 9 years or so. It's our ultra web, high definition and long lasting style system. On to the next. We're getting closer and closer with media efficiency loading. What that means is when you put a brand new air cleaner into your engine, it doesn't work the best. You need to get dirt into it, and the dirt actually improves the efficiency of the filter itself. So media efficiency loading from the get-go is important. Restriction indicators, and restriction simply means how much your air filter is blocked. It's a measure and it tells you when to change it. You can't tell these days with the new technology a filter is dirty just by looking at it. Many years ago you could, and people actually used to take them out and bang them on the ground. Some people even wash them and do all sorts of unusual things to them. These days a restriction indicator is to tell you the way to go. And finally, the next one is the XLC 200K. That is our part number, and that is for this wonderful device that we finally developed over much hard work, anguish, field testing, slicing a finger off, all sorts of other wonderful things in the technology. This is a design which is completely completely designed in Australia. This is the 7th generation style housing that we had to produce for the 200 series Land Cruisers. It is like no other in the world. It's a wonderful piece of gear. We've had them in test, we've had them in trial, we've done many thousands of kilometres in the worst conditions in Australia, and it's working an absolute treat. It's designed for harsh Australian conditions. compatible with most engine air intake systems and accessories, meaning that things like dual battery setups, snorkel systems, it fits them all. We haven't found one yet where it won't compare to. Easy to service, as the thunder comes in. To change the air element, the easiest way is to loosen the air outlet to the engine with a 10mm socket or a Phillips head screwdriver and simply remove and unclip the air element. A little bit later, we've got a working model, and we've also got the brand new housing here, which you can open up, pull apart, have a good look through it for yourself. Okay, next slide. The sealing design. One of the main problems with the factory Toyota air housing was the sealing around the edges. Another major problem was that because of the type and style of the engine, the chronic failure situation was that dirt would be pulled straight through the air element. Donaldson's overcome that with a completely different design and clamping force almost second to none around the outside of the housing. We've done many, many tests. We've run these up to nearly 70 inches of water, of vacuum, which is absolutely extraordinary. No signs of any leaks, no housing malfunctions, no nothing. So we're looking pretty good. Next slide. The ultra web media, again, is the Donaldson Blue style, which is the best in the world at this point in time. There is nothing that comes close to it, nothing compares to it. As far as efficiency, it's 99.999% efficient. You can't be 100% efficient because that would be a concrete wall, but we're as close to it as we can. Next one. The design speaks for itself. It's reinforced. It is high temperature ABS plastic. There are metal strains and particles through it, which are stainless steel, and they're all concealed in the inside. It will hold temperature and work up to Australian conditions exceeding 110 degrees C. And that's just some of the benefits of it. We'll move along. We do have only a short while tonight. Bob's got to get on with some other people. Let's go with another slide. And the rugged mounting brackets, they're not plastic, they're not aluminium. They are 6063 steel, and they are powder coated, and they will last the life of the housing. Next one. The restriction indicator. Very rarely that you'll find only heavy commercial vehicles will have the restriction indicator that tells you when you should be changing your filter. You don't need to pull it out and look at it, therefore exposing the engine to dirt. Simply read the indicator on the end of the housing. If you're unsure as to whether your filter is blocked, push the reset button, go for a drive around the block and see what it says again. You don't need to pull your air cleaner out just to check it and see if it's dirty. Read the restriction, and that's another surefire way of getting your mileage out of the vehicle. The next one then. It's what's inside that counts. This is a very, very different air element. It's an air cleaner as such, and it looks like no other, and it works like no other. This is completely different technology. Next slide, and let's see how that works. It's a triangulation. If we go to the next slide, it'll actually show us a flow of how dirt comes in, where it comes through. Let's have a look at that and see how it goes. This is an expanded version. So the air goes into the flute contained with dirt. It can't get out the other end. It has to change direction. This is a very different design. All of those pockets, and you can see that's one pocket we're looking at, in these air cleaners in the XLC 200K, there's 7 of those pockets, one behind the other. By the time the air comes out the other end, it is very, very clean. The dirt is trapped inside and it can't be taken out, can't be washed, and it can't be cleaned, and it certainly provides amazing long life. All right, we know how it all works. Now we'll move on. How good does it work? Proof is in the performance. The power core as opposed to the standard. Next slide. You can see the efficiency and the surface area. Realistically, the difference is that in the Toyota Land Cruiser factory air cleaner, there is about 0.8 of a metre. On the power core, if we cut it all open and roll it all out, there's more than 3 times the surface area, and that's what does the work. We're all about heavy duty filtrations, and this one is the cutting edge of a whole new ball game within the world of Donaldson. The last time we did one of these kits was for the Ford F-150 and F-250 in the USA in about 2008, and that was extremely successful. Now we've actually taken the concept to America, had it approved, and this is all done inside Australia. This is the first of many kits. What's on your question is going to be, this is for the 200, where's the 70, where's the 300, and the other different vehicles as well. They are all on the drawing boards. The 70 will be the next one out, and the 300 as well. Toyota have done us a wonderful favour by not changing the air boxes too much, and we know there are engine dusting problems in those vehicles. Stay tuned for those ones. Next slide. And again, warranty is an important consideration, an extremely important consideration. You need to know that if you fit the Donaldson product, you're not going to void your warranty. You've got a lot of money tied up in a motor vehicle, and even though some of those vehicles now, even the youngest one is still 15 months old, there's still a comprehensive warranty on them. Installing the Donaldson air cleaner system will not void your manufacturer's warranty under any circumstance. Next slide. I'll be hanging around after the event to talk with anyone that's interested about it, pulling apart the display model, see, touch, feel. We've got some brochures down on the front. Come and have a chat with myself or with either of the two Johns about purchasing one or pricing and that sort of thing. Thanks for your attention, and I look forward to having a chat with you after the show.
Thank you very much, Brett. Anybody who does want to ask questions, please see Brett at the completion of our presentation of trophies. Sergeant at Arms, Sally.
Good evening, everybody. It's wonderful to see members who have been away for nearly a year, and long-standing members and new members. It's great. Now, I do start off with a birthday monthly roll call because we feel that every member deserves to be acknowledged. Now, I also realise that a lot of members don't like to be recognised for their birthdays. That's just totally fine. So in December, I know John Twine, Santa John, loves to be acknowledged. Happy birthday, John, and you are 85? 85, well done, fantastic. Eliza Boyd, who's not here, Andrew Boyd's wife, and Michael Robinson, Stuart Robinson's son. Are there any other members here who have birthdays in December and would like to be acknowledged, that you're 21 tonight? Okay. So if you'd like to be acknowledged, let me know. I have a calendar of all the birthdays for members who'd like to be acknowledged. Now, as you can see, on the stage we have 5 magnificent Christmas hampers. We have 7 prizes, raffle prizes tonight, and so there's 5 hampers, and there's 2 bottles, not of wine, but of chocolates. And I have a red bag for you to put the 2 bottles of chocolates in. Now, the maker of these magnificent hampers, I'm going to ask Kerry Cottrell to please come up to the lectern to be acknowledged. Give her a huge round of applause. Now, the story behind these hampers is I met this delightful couple, Barry, stand up. Come on. Now, Barry and Kerry were at a working bee, and Barry dobbed Kerry in and said, you know what, you ask Kerry, she loves doing Christmas hampers, so whoosh, I went over to her. And she really does love making them, as you can clearly see. They are magnificent. She donates a lot of this too, but what is fantastic is the hampers are actually footstools, packed with goodies. Now, the white bows are with white wine, and the red bows are with red wine. So, ladies and gentlemen, and also we have lovely Amelia. So Julia and Amelia, that's Robin and Ian Mogg's daughter. So the youngest member here. Wonderful to see you. So I'm going to ask Kerry to draw out the raffle tickets. So can all get your raffle tickets, please?
Ready?
Are you ready? So the first raffle ticket is Black B30. And could you see our wonderful Norma Ferguson? And she will note your names down and give it to Alan. Connor Morby. Fantastic. The second one is? Yes. The second one is Green E44. Green E44. Oh, good. Fran, well done. Third one is Green E05. Oh, good on you. Ricky? The fourth one? E05. 05. The fourth one is Black B25. Well done, Bob Anson.
Wait, there's multiples there.
And the fifth one is Black B89. Oh, David Rowley, wonderful.
Sorry, there you go. Same one.
Right.
Nobody panic.
For those who don't know David's the administrator. He's just wonderful. He does so much work behind the scenes. And he came from, where did you come from? Heidi, did you come? Vicentia. And Barry and Kerry came from, they live in Anna Bay, so we've got wonderful members here.
We drove down from Port Stephens tonight.
Wow, fantastic. Green E38. Green E38. Oh, someone's, okay.
B.
Is he coming through?
B. This is E38. E38.
That's all right, Fran, we've got a winner. And the lucky last is Black B72. Oh, good. Now, Kerry, before we, just like you to say a few words, tell us why you've got this passion of doing these wonderful hampers.
It's not actually a passion. It's just I always manage to get volunteered to do these things, and I've done them over a lot of years for a lot of things. But it was actually Sally's idea to use the inverted little footstool. We were looking for something that wouldn't waste money. You know, boxes and things like that get wasted. And it was Sally that suggested we turn it upside down, which I thought was brilliant, so we've stuck with that theme. But thanks, Sally, it's been good fun.
Thank you, Kerry. Really appreciate that. Kerry and Barry, thank you very much. we'll just have a group photo with all the happy Christmas raffle winners. We wish you all a very Merry Christmas and look forward to seeing you in the new year 2023.
Sally? Now, with no further ado, we shall start on the awards. The first one are what we call just the volunteer awards, for which you're going to get a beautiful pen. And I'm not going to read out I'm going to read out every name, but the people who are winning these prizes have worked on, or perhaps all of either driver training, Coolandilly working bees, Willow Glen working bees, promotional things like Eastern Creek, education courses or social events. So what we're going to do is get 10 up at a time. You're all ready to, thank you, Ricky. So we have Melina Adatini, who I know is not here. Carol Alexander, who I know is here. Rob Alexander, who I know is here. Simon Alsop, who I know is not here. Bob Anderson, who is here. Victor Ashelford, who is here. Wayne Back, who I believe is not here. Dushan Bakia, who is here. Vonnie Bakia, who is here. Sorry, I should put ladies first, but this is all alphabetical. So we still have some more to go. Craig Bellamy, who I don't believe is here. He is? Oh, Craig, good on you. I've been trying to cite you, mate, but I didn't see you. John Blair, who is not here, I believe. Andrew Boyd, who is not here. Mitchell Burke, is there a Mitchell Burke here? Steve Bursell. I know Jason and Leslie Butler are here. Could you come up, please? And that might be the good A for the first photograph. We'll just get these two. Oh. Okay, thank you. Next is Judy Cameron, who I don't think is here. Charlie Cataldo, who is not here. Chun Chu and Ming Chu, who are not here. Brian Chisholm, who is here. Sue Chisholm, who is here. Greg Christian, I don't think Greg's here. Don't normally see him at these meetings. Jeff Clark and Marilyn Clark. David Collier, Nathan Collier I should say, is not here. David Coombs is not here. Elkie and Gary Cooper. Claire Davies and Gareth Davies, not here. Helen and Ron Davies, not here. Carol Deans, Warwick Deans, Jenny and Ron Den Harden. Ken and Sue Duffy. They're definitely here. Alicia Edelstein, not here, I believe. Lizanne Evans and Stephen Evans, not here. Richard Farr. You can stay there if you like, Richard. We'll just give it to you later. Oh, good. Michael and Sandra Feltham. Carol and Thomas Fuchs. I hope I've pronounced that properly. Bob Fife, he's here. We'll get his later. Jim Gately, who is probably not here. John and Virginia Go, not here. John Gwynn, not here. Felix Halter, I don't think he's here. John and Loretta Hayes, not here. Adam and Adam Hennessy. I know the next one, Alf Johnston, he's certainly here. Tony Johnston, Craig Joubert and Evie Joubert. John Kenny, no, John's not here. Alan Kidd, Alan is here. Alan, Daz and Liz King. Alex Cowatch and Henry Cowatch. Ramesh Kumar. David Lamb, I'm sure David's not here. Barry Lanigan, he's here. That's 10? Before Barry or after him? Barry's only a little fella, see if you can squeeze him in. Okay, thank you. Greg Lowe, not here. Ricky Lumino is here. John and John Marfleet. Col Morby, I believe Col is here somewhere. Anne and Tony McIntyre. No. Cheryl Mead and Phil Mead, they are definitely here. Ian, Julia and Robin Moggs. And Amelia can probably have a pen too if she wants. Has she done any good work? Tony Montebello. So 3, 6, 9. Not we got one more, have we? Greg Norris, not here. Dennis and Michelle Northcott. Look, we'll leave it at that because the next ones I'm getting up are couples, so we don't want to have to split a couple up. So just take 9 on that one.
Robin in the centre, please. Come right in, please. Dennis, round the back, please.
No, not you, Tony. Dennis.
Come forward, please.
Thank you. So then Debbie and Mark Oliver. Oh, sorry, Mark. I thought Colin was saying, hold on. If you want to grab your pens there first, please. Barry and Sue Pilley. I don't think so. Noel and Sally Rippengale. They're a chance of being here. Somebody else can do it. Stuart Robertson. Stuart not here tonight. Warren Robinson. Nope. Anthony and Christine Ross. Anthony and Christine Ross, sorry. David and Hailey Rowley. Lars Reuter. Ken Ryan, is Ken here? Oh, that's a bit of a bummer, isn't it? Ken's not here. Ines Seringer. Anne and Keith Smith. They must have tired themselves out on Saturday night, I think. Janelle Spowett. Luke Stolwerk. I'm sure Luke is here. Lutz, what am I giving Luke? Hines, are you bringing a stranger too? Lutz, I'm sorry, Lutz. Yeah. Chris Taylor. It's up to you, but I think there's... Thank you very much. Simon Tregoning. So if anybody's been missed, I can't midstream. I only put down what is given to me. Ines, did you say Roger Butler? Is Roger Butler here? Could he please come up? Sorry about that, Roger. Shirley Trelaw, is Shirley here? I've seen Bob. Shirley, good. Isabel and Stuart Turner. John Twine. I reckon John's here, or Santa Claus is in here. Deepak Verma. Peter Waters. Brian Weston, haven't seen him about. Mark Willock, he's definitely here. And Ted Wozniak. So this is going to be a short group. That is it for the general awards. Can anybody please see me later if I've missed somebody like we did Roger? Don't know quite how that happened. Sorry? No, they're on something else. But yeah, Katie and Max, come on up, please. I don't know how you didn't get on this list. I do not know. You are on somewhere else, but don't worry. Nobody gave me their names. Nobody gave me their names. If they give them to me, I'll put it on me.
Jenny Twine should get a mention too, because she comes to those.
Well, again, I wasn't given the name. Jenny Twine, is Jenny here? Sorry, Jenny. Again, You weren't on the list somehow. I'm so sorry. Just grab your pen. Is anybody else here that should have gotten the award that hasn't? Will Norma and John, they're represented elsewhere, but Norma and John can come up for a pen. Please come up. Norma, can you get two? One for John? If he's, oh no, he's coming. It's okay. John's coming. So.
I didn't mean to interrupt you if you were when I said about Andy and Max.
I'm sorry if anybody's missed. If they were missed, they weren't on the list given to me. I'm sorry. But anyhow, so we're going on to the slightly more major awards. Thank you, Cole. You right with those, mate? Down there, or do you need somebody to help you? The other, they should be in order from this end. Okay, the first committee award tonight is for Sue Duffy for her. She has departed committee earlier this year, so Sue also handled the position well in trying year with 2021, with COVID making things somewhat difficult. Sue has become a very worthy member of committee and stood down as she and Kim were to be travelling in the West and other places. So this one is to present, Mark Willock. I'll try and get that in first. Now, the next committee award will be given out by Colin, and it is for John and Norma and John Ferguson. John for running the video audio at general meetings, and Norma for filling in for many others on many occasions. Could you please be with us? Congratulations. Okay, next committee award, which will also be given by Colin, is for Sue Chisholm for helping out here and there and for helping out our busy land manager. Okay, the next two are going to be presented by Robin. So do you want to come over there near Colin, please, Robin? The first one is for Katie Regent and Max Turner, our wonderful supper providers, and in a year when Katie had significant health issues to deal with. So good on you, Max and Katie. Okay, our next one, and this is becoming, look, this person keeps bobbing up. Robin, you will be presenting a trophy to Sue Duffy for leading our team to the Western Australian TLCC conference. Our Sue. The next trophy is to be awarded by David Rowley. If David could please come up. It is not to David Rowley, it is being presented by David Rowley. And that is for Chris Taylor for teaming up with Sue at the conference and for his magnificent effort in ensuring that the club magazine went ahead without issue whilst he was travelling. Chris. David, could you stay there? We'll get you to present one more too, please, if you would. I hope we're still in order there, guys. But the next one is for Vonnie and Dushan for all your welfare work. Vonnie and Dushan. Now, the next one was one I was supposed to be presenting, but Carl Le Riviere could not be here. I did tell you before that he's ill. And this award is for his years of service in being a club nominee in the magazine and on the website to canvass membership and other inquiries. So congratulations to Carl. Now, if there is anybody here that lives close to Carl and knows him fairly well that you'd like to take that, I'll give it to you later, Vonnie. Thank you very much. Now, we have another one which Brian might like to present. It is to Bob Anderson for his behind-the-scenes work at Willow Glen. Bob. Brian, could you stay there, please? Well, no, sorry, I don't think it makes much difference. Just hang there for a second. There was another award which was for Coolandilly Working Bees for his long service over many years to John Blair, but John is not here. So, Brian, you might like to take that to give to John down at Coolandilly. Okay, now we have another award here that I would like to present, or it's two. And this is to two driver trainers, Barry Lanigan and Craig Bellamy, for their long service to driver training. I don't want to bugger up the picture. No problems. Okay, now we get on to some slightly more meaty trophies, even though those ones were very nice. So these are major awards, but I'm afraid the first major award is for Trip Leader of the Year, who was chosen by and was to be presented by Ian Moggs, and the Trip Leader of the Year is Ken Ryan. But Ken is not here. So we'll hold that for Ken. Not much point giving it to you, is there, Ian? We'll just hold it safely. An Editor's Award, which was chosen by and to be presented by Chris Taylor, and the Editor's Award goes to Sally and Noel Ribbingale. You want to do the next one, not that one, the next one for Anthony Ross?
Oh yeah, what's he getting?
Most enthusiastic.
Okay.
The next award, selected by committee and to be presented by Mark Willock, is to our most enthusiastic, and the award goes to Anthony Ross. Well, there is plenty of enthusiasm there, isn't there? Jesus, what's he done? You don't get the Trip Leader of the Year. Okay, the next two ones and that I would like to present, and just tell me, Chris, if you want me out of the photo, I'll get out right from the start. But so, Club Woman of the Year, chosen by committee. This person might sometimes be called Mrs. Everywhere, running the club shop, introducing new clothing lines, assisting with education courses, and occasionally at driver training. Elkie Cooper.
very much. I'm honoured. Thank you.
Help you. There's a box for your trophy. Okay. Now, the next one might surprise in some ways, and I think it's probably the first time it's ever happened in the club's history. But this one is the counter point to Mrs. Everywhere. And Mr. Everywhere, running auto electrical courses, helping to organise education courses, helping with a clothing shop, being a driver trainer, and has get up and go of several men, and also a chief firewood gatherer and splitter, and an attendee at most Willow Glen working bees, Gary Cooper.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Wow. Thank you. Very good.
So, am I allowed to be in this? Thank you. I'll get out of the way. Gary.
This is a very special award for me to receive. This is a special club to us. It forms a large part of our year, our week and our days. We've made some wonderful friends in this club, long life friends. Bobby Anderson's one of them, and so is Shirley. We'd like to thank Alan Kidd and Helen Kidd too for taking us on our early trips and introduced us to this lovely country of ours. But I've got many other friends everywhere, so like I said, it means a lot to us, and I just enjoy being part of the club and doing what I do. The awards are something special, but just to be part of the club is so special. Thank you.
Well, congratulations to all trophy winners, whether they be pens or something a bit better. And anybody that missed out, please let me know, and I can get you a pen. So that is it for now. The next general meeting will be held on the 6th of February 2023 here at the Liberty Hill Church. With no ado, we'll call the meeting closed, and thank you.